It was pus. She had a lot of pus. Oh. Yola yok mkoko. Fika utatupata hapa. I wish after the dance they came and helped us do this. She's pressing pause. Esther was in a lot of pain. Now we know why. This type of jiggers, the smaller in size, really cause
Amen. 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 Abandi bakonekana banyabukigurata nawe ubirase na Nyasaye umashiro zwe Nyasaye ta urukira Nyasaye ubira Nyasaye saye Nyasaye mu mukigura Nyasaye orarikoro nyero Nyasaye nikomba obara kurakira icyo Nyasaye sikelo rero Nyasaye uno mosena akaita kumwona na yuko kubitana nizo sikile hizo kwa maono sisi nama roholwa hadisi holwa sikalita holwa tanalatai nero kukama kukumo wena chaka waiki basi uyama nyewanda lomulu na lomulu kama simba lakini Yesu yanaangalia uspinani
fukuza hiyo nzi, fukuza hiyo nzi.
abamenya nase bamanya saikaro lenye wito mimi shirika kaya kama kamike ya kwa usia Nyasaye na majira muhiti uli kase kusara uli kase mko kusara tena Nyasaye abakore epata je Nyasaye mwese makanza manje elwate mo kate elwanyi weshwara washiro kunya kwa Nyasaye nimecho miata mkonye kulolero
We realize one of Esther's fingers, the second finger is cut. Not even the second. She has 1, 2, 3 fingers chopped off, and that is obviously not because of the jigger. It could be some ailment or something. People have diseases here that cannot be diagnosed, very strange sicknesses and diseases that cut off people's body parts. And there is so much that is not done with regards to research to really establish what these things are. And I think the jigger should help the world to understand that we have so much that has not been discovered yet, and amazing it should be that they were not aware about the jigger. And these little videos that are not very, very good are really teaching the world, educating the world about this problem that is so huge in rural Africa, and which governments and institutions really deny. The politician says it is too shameful to admit that it is there. And the church says it is a curse and needs prayer and not digging. And the society says it is negligence from the victim themselves. the victims to be blamed. And maybe it's through the blood, the inheritance through the blood, because the grandfather had it and the father had it and now the grandchild is having it. So it must be in the blood. Different explanations, and all of them don't really help in any given way, because the jiga is given a chance to thrive and multiply in the midst of explanations that don't help anybody or anything in any circumstance. Mwana Msakami, unasikia namna gani sasa sweetie? Uko sawa? Unasikia vizuri? Si uchungu sana? She says it's not so painful. Without lidocaine, I don't think we would be touching this woman. It would be too painful. Look at the pulse. And peroxide.
Hamjambo wote kwa kazi nzuri.
This is what made life so unbearable for Esther. She's lived with a lot of pain. Estola Sosa, Mwana musakami.
Ndafangala papa.
Ucha kusosa? It's so hard to even film. The finger is torn, filled with the pus. Type of pain it has to go through. It is pain that cannot be put into words. We're grateful for the selection that is purely heavenly, that these volunteers should be around to administer the much needed help. Esther was supposed to go to a government hospital, and you can blame her. They normally go there, but the corruption never assisted. And if government has to really explain and say, well, she didn't come, they should have a mechanism of getting hold of her through medical officers, that she can go around to identify cases that cannot even walk to the medical facilities and administer the help that is needed. I think government would do that, but I will not get to that because there are consequences of mentioning some things. It's really sad, and it wears my heart, and I cannot help myself but just say something that is offensive, and then I bear the consequences of my talking, of my loose speech. Sometimes I wear that with gladness because it's the truth.
Ugonjwa imemkula vidole. The boys are still coming in. Ulangwa wina mzee? Tom? Noah? Okay, Noah, karibu sana, watakusaidia. Thanks bro. Appreciate.
Dakama ay lela abantu abantu babola nje balana simba muro mazenda kanene nabo
ubalekele
ah balekele sema umuntu nemukabila unayibika lakini lana simba muro
oh
abantu ngaba serious bantu bosi bananda kana bana bachiya sana mbo
yali mwisanda mkakito namba katokuteka wakateka afida mama
ya abantu bana babiri babiri bana bana babiri bana Kira Brian. Waman. Brian. Lakini ule kuna mpepo fulani mpa. Naomba nisinze wala. Uko ingimoro. Azola kwa nona kuna machai moto. Ndio machai.
Kia hawambu moto mchima. Ngianga zaidi.
Amina. Amina. Asante. Amina. Hallelujah. Say my man.
Can you imagine that anyone would use such a hand to cook or eat or do anything for that matter? And yet, those are the fingers and the hands and the what Esther was supposed to use to scratch herself to take food and put it in her mouth. She has had a bad life, this woman. And of course these fingers are not going to grow back, but they are going to be pain-free. At least they're going to be pain-free.
Mungu Pastor Livingstone. Mtumishi wa Mungu hapa ambaye tumefanya naye kazi.
Ndio baba leo wiki na process leo wiki tebejala leo sio leo nini. Ngili plaza bana boss kuno mugazi.
Siku ya Alhamisi.
Ambaye njanga kwa bantu bana abantu bana tindane balani madharani ndawa.
Siku ya jana alikuwa kwenda huduma. Hata mchungaji wako akanipigia simu. Aliuliza pastor kwani kuna namna gani? Akamwambia tuko na mkutano ambao unaendelea. Kwa hivyo tutafika huko. Nashukuru Mungu kwa mapenzi yake. Sema amen. Kuna uponyaji mali. Watu ambao wamefungwa katika hili. Nataka nikwambie kwa jina la Yesu. Nina ujumbe mfupi sana. Tena ujumbe wangu. Sema amen. Sema amen. Watu wako hapa ni watu walio hai kweli. Hii amen ambayo unapiga hata Yesu. Hata hiyo amen ambayo unasema. Hata ukiwa mgonjwa huwezi pona. Iwa mtu wa roho unakaa kama mtu wa roho. Kama wewe sio wa roho. Kama unakaa katikati ya watu wa roho. Unakulazimisha kukaa kiroho. Kama tuweze kuwa pamoja. Katika jina la Yesu. Sema amen. Kabla sijaintroduce madhabahu. Napenda nipeane ujumbe wangu. Ujumbe wangu jibu la Mungu. Sema amen. Huo ndio ujumbe wangu kwa siku ya leo. Nitakuzungumza kwa muda mfupi. Nitamaliza. Lakini kabla ya hapo, acha tutambulishe madhabahu. Hata mwanzia mkono wa kike.
Sasa kama mtu mbarudi. Ile problem ndio ya baba. Yaani mtoto wangu anaangalia shida hizo. Ndio shida kisiele baba. Mambo kwa nini ni wao?
Simama tu, nimesikia vizuri sana.
Bwana nyumba ni mama.
Kama manyenza ndiani. Kama ndio mtako. Kena akatomba kuba hanu kumisho mungu na mwana mwana mmoja
na Yesu.
Leo ndio hayo msaada hanu ndio kupiwa.
Amina. Amen. Yesu makofi. Haleluya. Hapa niko na mtumishi wa Mungu pastor wetu Eliud katika huduma ya mwangaza. Kuna Eliud wawili, tuko na wiki wawili na Jehova anaendelea kutuinua.
Ni hili la baba mama ndio kweli.
Mrebe kwa daktari. Mrebe.
Awanji
Anasema wagonjwa ni wengi. Alete.
Wapi huko?
Huyu ndiye anasema wagonjwa.
Basi uende uwalete. Leta wale wako mbaya, wale wanatembea watembee. Wale wako mbaya sana weka baiskeli ulete. Tutakupea kitu. Walete tuwasaidie. Kwa maana hata tukisaidia hawa na kuna wengine itatoka kuiambukiza tena. Tutakuwa tumefanya zero watu. Kwa hivyo usichoke, enda.
kana kalle mwalo. Kana kala kanda kanga yoka dokenda.
Oh. Baba le yore ro haji. Wamkoro baba la banchiye.
Kana kanda kana aje. Mbona kana chasi yao? Kwa wewe ndio ula.
Amina.
alikuwa anapewa sifa. Nani anajua upande wa Mungu? Neno huja katika njia ya Roho. Bwana apewe sifa. Ukiona vijana wakikana hivi, jua ya kwamba ni neno la Jehova. Ukiangalia vijana wa umri wangu wamezeeka sana, wanasiwe sana, lakini kichanganya naona ni kali mchanga. Inamaanisha kwamba kungaliko tumaini, kuna habari Jehova ananipeleka katika njia ya huduma huu. Bwana asifiwe.
Meticulous work done with precision, slowly and carefully. And now Esther is of course, through having pain, it's necessary pain because she's been freed. Her hand, her right hand that must have not been used forever is now jigger free. And H2O2 is being prepared, and soon she's going to have her dose, which will really bite again. I'm sorry, Anna brought us the wind. I don't know how to call them. They blow the currents of wind, and that makes the place lays stinking because the peroxide really stings, so it reduces the stinging. We are sorry we don't have it now. It has gone with another team in a different place. Just anticipating the pain. Deforming. Somebody was saying deforming is caused by the presence of blood. But even in places where there's no blood, we find foaming. I think foaming is a response to impurities. Because the more dirty the place is, the more foamy it is when peroxide is applied there. It doesn't just respond to hemoglobin, to blood, but to dirt. We're moving to the left hand, this precious woman. And as you can see, her husband is receiving his dose through the other volunteer who is also a nurse. And this guy looks on, is waiting for his chance to break even and walk in the same liberty that we have these ones walking in. We applied lidocaine, but it took a lot of time on the right hand. And as we apply again, we realize it's even painful just applying. Just, touching that place is painful. So after the application, have to wait for some 3 minutes for lidocaine to take effect before we can complete the process of having Esther officially freed from jiggers. and then we will start working with her home to disinfect it, and of course with her body to also get her clean clothing, and then on her bed to get her the right bedding, and then we will do counseling for her to understand a few things that will help her sustain her freedom from this jigger affliction, which is the worst affliction to ever have. This is the worst thing that can ever come to you, the jigger. It is the worst you can ever have. It's so painful just getting hard to be dug because it's too sensitive. This brown small variety, somebody was saying there are no varieties in jiggers. I think we have varieties. We have some that are so big and others are small. And the big ones, for the big jiggers, you rarely can see the pus. But this smaller one will always present a lot of gangrene and a lot of pus. And of course that must be accompanied with too much pain, and that is why it is so painful to dig out this small type of jiggers. I have had the small type of jigger bite me, and I just couldn't sleep. But again, I have had the big type bite me, and I realized there was a jigger there, but then I forgot about it. And by the time I was considering that again, it was a big jigger, so big, and yet I hadn't gone through that much pain. So we have different varieties of jiggers. And of course, we have never claimed to be professors in the jigger world. What we simply do is to just expose this thing and take videos of the same. And we have been taking videos of jiggers in the last 4 years. And then 6 months ago, we discovered that we can monetize those videos so that we can increase the revenues. We can, get extra money to help us in the campaign. So then we started getting revenue from these video clips about 6 months ago. But we did that for 3 years without monetizing our videos. And so for somebody to say, well, they're doing that and they're doing it so that they can get monetization money, that is not true. Because we were doing it without monetization, and we did that for years. So if money was the motivation and not education, then we would have stopped filming, because we filmed for over 3 years without ever receiving any revenues out of it, and then finally we then monetized the videos. And so please, respect, please. Let's be careful what we say about people. We speak. The lidocaine has taken effect, and so she's a bit relaxed. Without it, she wouldn't be relaxed. She would actually scream. She's the type that can scream. I can look at the face of somebody and tell what type they are. And I think Esther is the screaming type. And she would scream. You have people who have different proclivities. And you can tell what they could easily do. I at least do. Sometimes I'm wrong, not always right.
Amen. Amen.
It's a different angle. Songa kidogo mami. Here where we are is on the smallest finger. We're digging that one step at a time, one jigger at a time. And we'll move up and free that finger and move to the next finger and go to the next one until all of them are completely jigger free. Then it will just be about working on the mechanisms that will ensure that these fingers no longer get these vicious insects, vicious parasites back there again. They eat your food, they torment you, they eat you, they take everything out of you. And we are glad setting these captives free. This is the gospel. According to me, this is the true gospel, the gospel of love, ministry, ministering to the sick, getting low and touching the untouchables, despised, those that media cannot cover, in places where nobody can notice you. I believe that is the gospel. Much of the ministry of Jesus Christ, who is my example and my mentor, was also deep in villages. And his ministry was so big that the reporters and media followed him up there. But I'm too small, no media follows me up. And I'm so glad nobody does. They only see my videos and really start discussing about them. But they don't follow me to the ground so that I can have the liberty of narrating as it is without being influenced or being careful about anybody around for whatever reason they have come around for. So here we are, and just standing and that place had pus. Oh, at the back of that little finger. How could I or anyone imagine that you have jiggers back there? But we can see they are there, and they are not very lucky tonight, being dug out, being sliced through. actually not even being dug out. They're being sliced through by this very sharp tool called the scalpel. Those are many of them in one place, where they look like one big jigger. They are small jiggers in one place. This old man, can you come back kuranga wina? Oh, Samuel. Samuel is also having that, and he has some very tough skin, which calls for slow cutting.